Welcome to the Primitive Camping and Bushcraft podcast. I'm your host, Chris Speir. So here, we're going to talk about gear, grit, and the kind of stories you only get around a fire. It's all about learning, adapting, and keeping your faith strong. So whether you're a seasoned outdoorsman or just looking to unplug and reconnect, you're in the right place. So pull up a chair by the fire and let's get into it. All right, welcome back to the Primitive Camping and Bushcraft podcast. My name's Chris Speir, and we are underneath the tarp of Camp What the Heck. Today is Monday. It is just a few short days away from Thanksgiving. We have a lot to be thankful for. It does not matter who you are. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter what ethnicity you are. It doesn't matter where your social statuses are. It does not matter. Any of these things, these earthly things do not matter. We all have something to be thankful for. So moving on with that, I am thankful when I get to go camping that I have a couple of these devices that we're going to talk about. I'm fixing to set it all up. And so we're doing it. I'm setting up a new structure for everything. We're ironing out all the kinks. I'm ironing out all the little things here and there, and it's starting to slowly transition into a smooth setup. So what my new model is going to be here forth is we're going to do the podcast on Monday. Then Tuesday, we're going to release a short video on the same subject. Wednesday is going to be a blog post on the website on the same subject. Thursday is going to be a short video on the same subject. Friday is going to be the Fundamental Friday video on the Primitive Camping and Bushcraft YouTube page about the same subject that we do the podcast on. And then it all starts over the next Monday on the next subject, the next topic. So we're going to spend a whole week on what we're discussing today. And today we're talking about kindling devices. We're talking about lanterns. I am the king of leaving my flashlight at home. And for any of you guys that have ever been camping with me, specifically David, he knows that I consistently leave a flashlight, but I always bring these other devices with me, and I really want to lay this out, and I want to show you guys the significance of having a lantern with you. Now, I stopped using lanterns that require gas or fuel or anything a long time ago because it requires extra weight. It is extra weight that you have to pack in or pack out. Then they started having the propane bottle lanterns that last a pretty good bit and are a little bit lighter weight. That's fine and dandy. But then I moved up and I found other ways to light my campsite. So let's get in. Let's touch on that a little bit because, in the daylight, you're fine. In the daylight, you're good. You can see everything. The night, whenever your light comes to an end and it starts to become dark outside and you can't see anything, you don't have a light or anything, it becomes a safety concern is what it really becomes, what it boils down to. You cannot perceive depth perception. You can't see different things in your camp. You cannot see roots. You can't see the ground. You can't see your hand. How many times have you ever been in the pitch dark and you went to scratch your eye or rub your face or something in the pitch dark and you poked your eye because you didn't know how far away your finger was? Raise your hand. I've done it. And if I'm the only one that's ever done that, something is wrong. Something is wrong. So I have done that in the pitch dark. And I have tripped in the pitch dark. How many of you have got up at nighttime to go to the restroom? You don't have a night light at your house, and you walk into the bathroom because you know which direction it is. You've walked that route a million times. You walk with your eyes closed because you're visualizing how to walk to the door. And you reach out, you touch the door, you swing the door open, how many times have you stubbed your toe on the cabinet or something like that, the edge of your bed, and it always happens at nighttime when you don't have light. Now, that is the big issue, is that light becomes a safety issue whenever you're camping, because you can't see a hole. You could trip. You could break an ankle. You could break a leg. You don't see that bluff that's right there over your river. You could fall off the bluff down into the river. It becomes a safety hazard. And in the daylight, none of this matters because you can see it all. Every decision you make at night slows down. Your eyes stop giving you the information that you need to make the decisions that you need. So without all this information, you hesitate, you misjudge. You can trip over a root. You can, you walk right into that guy line. Now, how many of you, whether you got lanterns or not, walk into the guy line 100 times off of your tarp? Raise your hand. Me. That's me. I've done it a million times. So when you forget a flashlight and all you have is the firelight, you can get that information, but you still are only getting part of the information. All right. So nothing changes between the day, night, and the dark. Nothing changes. Your camp's still set up the same way. The woods are still the same exact way. The trees are in the same location. You do not process that information. You can't see where everything is. And so whenever the darkness starts to take over for the night, the moon comes up, you get a little bit of moonlight. How many times have you been camping on a full moon or a fuller moon? And it is so bright outside that you can see without a light. When we're driving up and down the river, it is a lot easier at nighttime to just have your red and green navigation lights on and your clear light in the back of your boat and drive with no other lights, because you can see clearer with the gathered light on the river, with the reflection of the light and all that. Now, it's not to say that you can't hit a log. I've done that before, or run into a sandbar. I've done that before too. It's no fun hitting a sandbar at full throttle with a 40 horsepower engine tiller handle, and then everybody get thrown out of the boat. And that's pretty much happened one time. But, it is, you can see a lot better. Now, if you turn that light on, you're conflicting yourself, because that light, you're trying to concentrate on the brightness of that light. Does it help? Yes, it does, but it actually hinders you from seeing the whole picture. You can only see what that light is that you're shining. I keep hitting this microphone. So, but anyway, back to the camp. So what we need is a simple, reliable way to light up our camp besides fire. Now, I've camped many a nights alone on the river with just a fire and no lanterns. I've done it. I've camped many nights alone on the river with just a fire and no flashlight. I've done it. I've been there. I've done that. And I just like the convenience of having a light to be able to see around camp. There's another issue that it gives you a false sense of security. If you can see what's happening, you feel more secure. And to a lot of individuals that's not used to camping in the great outdoors by themselves, they can have a almost like a sense of fear, like they're sort of apprehensive or afraid of what's in the dark, because they don't have the information to see what's out there. They can't see something coming. They can't see. And a lot of your predators, a lot of your game animals, a lot of stuff is moving around at nighttime under the concealment of dark, and they get their food, they get their stuff. These guys are made different. They can see. They can see, they can smell, they know where you are. They can walk all around you and be very quiet, and you never even see them. But there's instances where people can feel less secure at nighttime, and a light or some kind of kindling device actually makes it to where you feel more secure. Now, I'm going to throw this one out there first and foremost. I talked about this with Chris on the phone. He's up in Illinois, member of the group. And we were talking about how you take a tea light candle and you open up a
pop can for all you guys up north, a soda can for all you guys down south, or a Coke can for all you in Mississippi. And or in Mississippi, it's a Bud Light can. Well, anyway, you cut it in the middle. About 2/3 of the way up, you cut a line straight down to about 1/3 of the way to the bottom, and then, or maybe 1/4 of a way, and then you make little door hinges, and then you open it up, and then that will expose the inside of this can. And then you light your tea light candle, and you stick it inside that can and stick it up there. I haven't tested how many lumens that is, and I don't have an example to show you right now. But you see this all the time on these fake survival skill videos. Yeah, it's great, but how many times are you going to just carry a tea light candle? Am I wrong? Do you carry a tea light candle with you in the woods? Let me know in the comments of this video or this podcast. But it will produce some light. It will give you some light. It is not going to give you a lot of light. You would need several of these. How many of you remember before they started gauging everything in lumens, everything was candle power? Growing up in the woods, we would get a new flashlight and it'd be like, oh man, this has 1 million candle power. That's awesome. And I know you know what I'm talking about, unless it was the what do they call that? The butterfly effect, or what do they call that? Something effect that it never really happened or whatever. But no, I can remember flashlights. Whenever you had a spotlight to come out, it had 1 million candle power, and it was extremely bright, and you spotlight from here to 10 acres across. That was the equivalent of 1 million candles inside that handheld device. All right, that's how they equated that. That's where that come from. 1 million candle power. So if you have one candle, you can light up just a little bit. It's probably not even 65 lumens now. They changed it over to lumens, and it's the lumens that light up everything. You're getting the lumens are the value that they measure how bright something is. And if I'm wrong, correct me, let me know, because I'm just going off the top of my head. I don't even have any of this stuff that we're talking about scripted out. So, but anyway, let me know in the comments or something like that. But if they judge it by the lumens, and that little device right there can give you some light. I need to go out and record a video and post it here showing you how bright that candle could be. I think I'll probably do that in the next week or two. So, all right, moving on from that. So now I'm typically the guy that leaves the flashlight at home, but when it gets dark, I always remember in my backpack to bring one of these little extra devices. And I talk about it in my book on page 70 and 71. If you're watching the video, I'm holding the book up here showing you on page 70 and 71 under the miscellaneous items. And there I talk about like a headlamp. The headlamp, it uses batteries. It uses 3 AAA batteries. It don't weigh much, but it is extremely useful. And I put in there, I can't tell you how many times I forgot to pack replacements batteries, or I forgot to pack the thing for my the flashlight for my trip anyway. A small LED flashlight is good to take with you, but let's get over here. A multi-tool, synthetic materials. So on page 73, 72, I discussed the Luminade solar lanterns and how they're waterproof and how they really help with visibility around your camp. And so these things are amazing. They're great. And I wanted to really touch on them today and demonstrate them here on the podcast and the podcast video. So if you're not watching the podcast videos, go to the Primitive Camping and Bushcraft YouTube page and look at the videos, because it's describing everything. I'm showing everything that I'm talking about on this podcast. So in my hand, what I have now is the Lucy Outdoor Empowered Solar Lantern. This thing weighs not even 3 ounces. not even 4 ounces. It's less than 3 ounces. Now, this little device, it inflates like a swimming pool noodle. You have to pull this little thing out, and then it has that inflatable thing where you blow it. And let's see if I can do this. I like to squeeze it and then pull it out. And then blow it up. So there we go. Now it is blown up, and it looks like a swimming pool. It's like people use these in their pools to swim at night. They put it for lighting, and they'll throw it in a swimming pool like this, and it lights up the pools. But these are amazing at camping. These are amazing during natural disasters. These are amazing for preparedness. If you have any reason to have a preparation kit at home, some kind of go kit or go bag or preparation to be prepared for the natural disaster, then these are what you need in there. They're the most cost effective and most reliable. You can get one of these for probably like $13. Now, there's different brands. It doesn't really matter the brand. This is the Lucy. Lucy is a brand that I have particularly cared for because they seem to last. Now, they have changed to the name. So they used to be Lucy Empowered, and now if you look on Amazon, they are called the Lucy BioLite. The Lucy BioLights. And these, I forget the price. I believe they're like $13 or, $15, something to that effect. But even if they were up to $20, these are worth every single penny. And they recharge. They have a little lightning bolt on the side right here that tells you how charged they are. You press that button and it gives you 3 little lights if it's fully charged. It gives you 1 if it's drained and none if it's empty. And then you hit the power button and it will light up. You can see in the camera. Let's see. Can you see in the camera? Yeah, it's bright. Where that is the low setting. That is the bright setting. And then it has a blinking setting, and that blinking setting is for emergency, so you can signal somebody. And then it has an off. So it has a low, high, and blink. And these things are great because it will allow you could put it on low. You get 2 of these and set up in your camp, which I do all the time. Ask David, we just used them in our video week before last. And I'm going to try to put some footage of me using these videos, using these lanterns in a video while I'm doing this podcast. So that is the Lucy Empowered Light. Now that is an amazing little device, and they are great. They're economical, and they're, like I said, extremely affordable and ready to go. And all you have to do whenever you get done is set it in the sunlight, and it has that solar panel right there, and it'll charge it up. Now, out here at Camp What the Heck, underneath my tarp, I have 2 of them set up, and that's the only lights I use out here underneath this camp tarp at night. It lights up the whole thing. The way I have this set up is to where it's reflective underneath, and I got one out front, and then I have one in the middle, and it lights up everything that I need it to light up. These things are awesome. They're great. I cannot tell you, but if you want to up your game, I think those are 65 lumens. Let me check. Let me see if I can get on the interwebs while we're out here and check out the price currently on the Amazon website. I would have to do it through my Celly Telly because my tablet does not have the internet connection. And now we're looking for the Lucy BioLite. Lucy BioLite. And bear with me, it's coming. Lucy Lantern. And I keep getting the little, something's wrong because I don't have much service out here at all. Nope, no internet. So I'll have to put the link in the description of this video in the show notes. Oh, it popped up. Here we are. Let's see. Lucy Lucy BioLite. Oh, they changed the price. These things are now $19.95. $19.95. So they are up to $20. And let's see. They are, I'm looking through, I'm trying to, there's another one, Bidex Solar Rechargeable. It's $13.99. Now, it does not matter the name brand. It shouldn't matter the name brand. These things this one puts out, the $13 one puts out 90 lumens. And let's scroll up here to the other one. The other one, it says for $19, it puts out a whopping, let's see here, a whopping, it don't say the lumens. It just says 10 hours of run time, 5 light modes, 10 hours reliable light per charge, and it's USB chargeable. So, the original Lucy, this one in my hand, is now $29. That is crazy. I don't know. I think I would not buy a Lucy for $29. So I'm glad I checked that live here on the page, because I really do believe that the next up is the better option. And let me grab those. So the next up is the Luminade, the Luminade lanterns. Now these I know are $30 a piece, but these are heavier. These are, I want to say this one is, I think it was 6 ounces, 8 ounces, something to that effect. Now these are almost the same. They have Velcro. You open them up and that handle comes around and you can latch that onto a tree limb or something to that effect. Then, I turned it on accidentally before I was ready. Then they have a little pull tab here at the bottom, and you open it by pulling it and let all the air in, and then you close that off. All right. So this is kind of frosted. It looks like it needs a good washing, but these things have been used so many times. I cannot tell you how many times. If these die, I will buy a new one. So, but anyway, it even smells like campfire. Yeah, I've used them so many times. Now, this one right here, it has a button that it will tell you, you press this button on here, and when you press that button, it gives you 4 lights are being charged. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. So this device is fully charged. It has an optional button right here for red light or white light. Now, the red light is exactly that. It is an emergency light, so you can signal, and it does brighter and it blinks. Let's see if we can get it blink here on the video. I think it's blinking. There we go. That's blinking, and then turn it off. But then you can switch it back to the white light. Now, what I love about these lanterns is that you can turn them on. One, let's turn it back to the white light. One, that is the low setting. No, that's the high setting. Then the next one is like a medium, and then a low, and then extremely low, and then blink, and then off. So these things are amazing. These are worth it. Now, this one particular model is called the Luminade Titan. This one is more expensive than the regular just Luminade solar lanterns. The Luminade Titan allows you to charge it on the wall before you leave, but this also acts as a battery bank for whenever you get out into the great outdoors and you need to charge your cellular device or your something. So you could charge something with this. Now, I got 2 of those. I got 3 of the Luminades, and you could buy the Luminades at Walmart for cheap. I mean, not the Luminades, but the Lucy, Luci, Lucy. So now moving along to the next item, I found an item that someone had sent to me to do a video on. And this item, when I first got it, I was like, this thing is ridiculously worthless. I did the video, And the more I started investigating when I was doing this video on how to use this thing, I fell in love with it. This little box right here is a solar lantern. This little box charges right here by USB-C, and it has a USB-A where you can charge another device with it. It has a solar panel here on the top, and these little arms fold out. They fold out, and you pull, and that lantern turns on. It pops out. Now, this is something I'm not taking camping with me. This is something that I'm keeping at my house. This would be something that I would take with me if I absolutely had to, but this is something I would keep at my house in the event of hurricanes or tornadoes. All right. This is a natural disaster type thing. The reason why is because not only can you charge it, it has a flashlight right here. Not only can you charge this by your wall, but it has an arm that comes out, and it allows you to wind it up and charge it. It has a little red light right here on the side, and when you're doing this motion, it's a wind up type charger, and it allows you to charge this light. So if you cannot get it to charge in the solar power or the sunlight, or it's after dark and it dies, you can still charge this thing and still have enough light to do what you need to do. Now, here's the only problem with this. There's no name on this. There's no brand name. There is no, I've tried emailing the people that made this went out of business. There is no way to replace this. I don't know how to get another one. But that's what makes this so unique. There's only a few of these out, but there should be something like this out and available for you to find. And you could probably do a search on Amazon. This little box is unique. It is extremely unique, and I will leave it at my house for natural disasters. Now, let's talk about the big elephant in the room. If you're watching the video, is this device that is actually powering the camera while we are sitting here going over this podcast. This is the Blavor. It is BLAVOR. It is it has 16 amp hours. It's 14.8 volts, and it has 236.8 watt hours. So this little battery recharger is going to go with me camping. This little device in my hands, it weighs, I want to say 2 pounds, 2.5 pounds, something to that effect. But this is one of those battery backup, those little battery chargers. Now, what I like about this device is the lantern. It has a lantern that you could leave this out on a tabletop or something. It has 1, 2, 3, and it has 3. It has low, medium, and high lanterns. And I haven't got into it so far yet to find out all the lumens and everything. I'll be doing that throughout this week as I post the information on the website, on the blog post, and we'll be going over all this stuff with the Fundamental Fridays episode as well. But this will allow you to charge USB-C devices. It charges via USB-C. It does not charge via solar panel unless you have a third-party solar panel to connect to it. And then it will charge your devices. Like right now, it is charging the battery on the GoPro that is actually filming this episode, and it is using 8.9 volts right now to charge that device. And so I could turn this on, and it will light up the area so you can see everything at the table. So you'll put this in the table. I'm not sure you will actually hang this up. I'm going to test it out this week, and I'm going to run it through its paces. I'm going to test it out. But this is the Blavor, BLAVOR lantern and battery backup. Now, I'm not sure how expensive this thing is right now. I haven't, they sent it to me to do a video for Speir Outdoors, and I was like, well, we're talking about lanterns, so let's go ahead and throw it on the Primitive Camping podcast. And I sometimes these things come in handy. Sometimes they're just gimmicks. And, I will, if I see something that I like, that I think has value in something, I will throw it out here, and I will throw it like Speir Outdoors, my YouTube channel. I do product reviews all the time. And a lot of the videos that I do, if I put it on there, it's because it's something that I use. It's something that I will use. People have sent me products, and I have emailed them back saying I will not recommend your product to my viewers. And a lot of these are non-name brands and places, companies, and stuff like that you never heard of. And that's okay. Just because you've never heard of it doesn't mean it won't work for what you need it to work for. So, it's crazy how we always get into the name brand thing, where if that's not a name brand product, I'm not going to use it. I don't want to use it if it's not name brand. So now I just want to take a chance to shift gears a little bit, because I know how we've talked about these lanterns and how, it sounds like I'm just going about camp gadgets and camping gear, but there's a bigger point under all this. We have been talking about light for the last 31 minutes or so. How light for safety, light for comfort, light so you don't trip over a tree root or a guy line in the dark or anything of that point or that nature. And I feel like maybe some of you may know exactly where it's going. Truth is, all of this talk about physical light is really just a picture of something a lot bigger. And the same way you feel when you're at camp, you don't have enough light, that hesitation, that unease, that second guess in every step, that how life feels when you're trying to walk it out or without the Lord leading you. You're still moving, you're still making decisions, but you're doing it half blind. You're missing a lot of the information that you need when it comes to what you're doing in your life and what you're doing. And you're reacting to the shadows instead of seeing everything clearly. So I wanted to read a verse to you that ties it all in. And if you have your Bible, if not, just listen. If you do, follow along. It says here in Psalms 109, verse 105, your word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. And I know in the King James is thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. So it's like your word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. So it's not talking about a spotlight. It's not talking about a 1 million candle power flashlight. It's talking about how your word is a lamp unto my feet. A lamp unto your feet is something just so you can see where you are walking, so you don't stumble, so you don't trip. His word is something that illuminates your path. And that's just like, I'm always saying at the end of every video is, acknowledge him in all you do and he will direct your paths. And he will direct our paths. And if we allow him to light our path, we won't stumble, we won't trip. Now, are you going to stumble sometimes? Absolutely. Yes, you are. But there's another passage that I want to read too. And that is in Matthew, and this comes straight out of Jesus' mouth. He said that you are the light of the world. And this is Matthew 5, verse 14. You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. Nor do they light a lamp and put it under a basket, but they put it on a lampstand, and it gives light to all those who are in the house. What does that mean? So, you are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. these cities, if you've seen any lights up on a hill, you can see it for miles and miles and miles and miles. You can't hide it. It cannot be hidden unless you turn the light off. So if you have that light in you, people see it. People can see it from miles away. People can see everything about you. They can see your actions, your reactions. How do you handle stressful events? How do you, and are you the reason that people are walking away from the light? So what Jesus is saying is the same thing about us. If his word is the lamp to our feet and his light is what lets us walk straight, then we are also meant to reflect that light, not hide it, not bend it in the dark. Just like a lantern, we're going to hang it out there in camp, and it's supposed to make it a little easier for folks around you to see what is true and what is not. Not by being preachy, you don't have to beat people over the head with a Bible to show your faith. It's just by walking in the light that you have. If you got one of these lanterns hanging up, let's say this 65 lumen lantern hanging up, it does not produce a ton of light. It's not the brightest light in the world. But whenever you're 100 yards away from this light, it is in the complete darkness. This is a very bright light, and you can see it from a very long way. And that's what we are called to be. We're called to be the light. When you're out in the woods, and I've done it, I've walked up to camp in the dark without a flashlight with these lights on, and I could see where the camp was from a very long way. So that's what it means when it's talking about your word is a lamp unto my feet. It gives you just enough light to where you can see where you're walking, so you're not stumbling, you're not tripping. All right. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet. It is not a 1 million candle power light shining the whole woods and disturbing everything. It is just being consistent. And people that can see it from afar. Okay, can see it from a long distance. So, but these lanterns, dude, I love all these lanterns. Now, I'm going to be trying this Blavor one out. I love this one. This is the rechargeable one. Uncle Mark, something like that, Outdoors or something was the original name of the company, but I think it went out of business. And then we got the Titans, we got the Lucy's. And there are other kinds out there. If you have a particular kind that you want to use, throw it out here. Let me know. The one thing that I absolutely love about each and every one of these, except for the Blavor, is the fact that you can charge it up during the daytime while you're around camp. You can set it out in the sun and charge these things. It takes about 7 hours to charge them up, and you can get about 7 hours of daylight. And you just lay them puppies out there and let the dudes charge. And you can have enough light to light up your camp. And that's why I take 2 of them, because I leave them on the low setting on each, one in one part of the camp, one in the other part of camp. And I put them on low, and it lights up the whole camp, and it gives a nice little glow. Y'all have seen the nighttime podcast down here. The only light I had was a Lucy overhead. And, these things are amazing little lights. They put out a ton of light. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. And I have not used any other lights for this show. I haven't used any other lights while I was camping, except for the Lucy's. These Lucy's and Luminays. This is it. That's all the light I need. So anyway, without rambling on, that's it for this week's podcast. I really enjoyed you being here, and I thank you so much. And remember, happy Thanksgiving. We have a lot to be thankful for. All of us do. And I really want you to reflect this week on what you do have to be thankful for. And take a moment to think about it. You don't have to be a Bible carrying believer to be thankful for something that's in your life. But if you're not, that is the reason why you have it. So remember, in all your ways, acknowledge him. I'll see you next time. God bless you.
Thanks for sitting around the fire with me today. If this episode gave you something to think about, if it helped you feel a little bit more prepared, or it even stirred your faith a tiny bit, go ahead and share it with someone else who might need it as well. We don't go camping to run away from life. We come out here to slow down and to recharge. So grab another log, throw it on the fire, and remember this. In all your ways, acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. I'll see you next time. God bless you.